Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Razovy, and today we are going to talk about Zom 100. Now, this manga is absolutely amazing. I really love this manga. That's also why I want to talk about it. You're watching the Razovy Revived channel, so don't be confused. You're not watching my main channel, which is Razovy. No, this time around you're watching Razovy Revived. This is my second channel. It's kind of my hobby channel. I post on Thursdays here. Feel free to subscribe to both, but this is really my hobby channel where I just talk about, the manga I read, the anime I watched, just kind of a chill kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Which is rather different from Razovy, which is merely a how-to recommendation channel, I guess. But yeah, Zom 100 for real. Let's talk about it. Now, Zom 100, the premise is rather simple. Basically, the zombie apocalypse happens, right? We've seen it before, and we will see it again. But in this case, I really like the way that the zombie apocalypse is portrayed. It might sound kind of weird the way I say, but for real, it's a very, again, weird way of saying it, but it's a fun way of having the zombie apocalypse being portrayed. Now, I'll explain. We start off with this guy right here, Tendou-san, Akira. And Akira, he is actually a sarariman, which basically means, if you would translate it directly, it would translate into salaryman, right? It's literally just an English word said in a Japanese way. And he used to work for this company, and he was miserable, right? He's 24, absolutely miserable, stuck in this dead-end job that he doesn't care about. And he basically is completely overworked. Now, once this zombie apocalypse slowly but steadily starts happening, he actually is overjoyed by the fact that the zombie apocalypse happens. And this is the weird part, but I really like it, because the reason that he's so happy is because he now can stop working. He doesn't hate work per se, but he does hate his job, right? He really dislikes his job. So he's just happy, right? He's overjoyed about the fact that he can now stop, even though the zombie apocalypse is happening, right? So kind of weird, but in a sense, it's understandable. The way that the first volume portrays like Akira's story and his circumstances, you really feel bad for the guy, and you really start to understand why he's so overjoyed eventually, because his life really sucks at first. There's actually this review here. I'm not sure by whom. Let me quickly check. It's by Obscure, I hope I say that correctly, and like the header of his review is one of the best first volumes I've read, and the rest is dreadful. Now, I don't agree with this. However, I read his review, and I understand where he comes from, because basically in his review, it's no use to showing it right now, but he kind of says like, first volume is amazing. It's really something, and then afterwards it kind of degrades into this B movie, zombie movie kind of thing, and he doesn't like, or she doesn't like it, or whatever, or they, I don't know. I didn't check. Yeah. Anyway, so I get where this person is coming from. Volume 1 is very strong. The way that it portrays life and the philosophy behind it, I really, that's also why I bought all the other volumes, right? Because volume 1 was so strong. And it is true that the other volumes kind of deviate from this very strong philosophical point, but on the other hand, they are still, how should I put it, they stick to the story. Let me explain. So volume 1 is about, the zombie apocalypse happening, right? It occurs, and Akira is overjoyed. That's kind of volume 1. Now, I won't spoil anything about the other volumes, but basically, slowly but steadily, Akira is going to find a group of friends, including this guy right here. He's very funny. I really like this guy, Kenichirou, which has been like an old friend of Akira, so it's he already knows this guy. And then eventually also meet Shizuka, who is she becomes the main love interest. Of course, nothing happens at first, but maybe eventually something will, who knows. And then they also find Beatrix, a German girl. It's very fun. But the problem that this person is describing, I do recognize what this person means. Because we go from this very philosophical, heavy plot to quite a fun and interesting story, right? It's very episodic, all of the manga volumes. The story is coherent, it really is, but it's very clear that once the volume is completed, right? Once you read volume 3 and we go to volume 4, it's very clear that, okay, this part is over, right? There's no continuation. Everything has been resolved, and that's it. And taking into consideration that Volume 1 was so philosophical and so heavy-hearted, it's interesting to see that basically this manga does a 180 on its own premise. But is that a bad thing? No, I have really enjoyed all of these 7 volumes so far. Now, of course, it's still being published in English and in Japanese, so we get way more volumes. I'm currently reading it in English. I have the physical volumes. And I'm planning on buying all of the physical volumes. I already pre-ordered volume 8 and 9, and I believe 10 is now out for pre-order, so I'll make sure to pre-order that one as well. So I really enjoy it, but I do recognize the change in storytelling. It becomes a lot more happy-go-lucky at some parts, which I like. I actually like that. We meet so many cool characters that make the story more fun. We even eventually, meet his parents and stuff, and but it's, taking into consideration that it's a zombie manga, we have these certain zombie tropes that at first in Volume 1, it kind of seems like, oh, we're not going to go in that direction, but eventually we are, and that's fine. Sometimes it's very over the top. Eventually, I believe in Volume 7, these are not major spoilers. I promise not to really spoil anything, but basically in Volume 7, they go to this hotel run by robots. That is very far away from, it distances itself very much from how Volume 1 made it look like, you know what I mean? But it's for real. I really enjoy Zom 100. It's definitely worth it. If you haven't read it yet, and if you're kind of doubting because of what I just said, because I can imagine I kind of made it look bad, which is not. It's amazing, but maybe check it out. Like maybe read the first couple of chapters, or maybe the first volume on Tachomi or something, and then eventually. I would actually advise you to buy the actual physical volumes. Of course, you don't have to. I'm not saying you're a bad person if you don't. It's just that it's worth it. I really enjoy this story, and I'm planning on buying all of them, all of the volumes. I really want to collect this. But I would advise you to at least give it a shot. Check it out. The characters are funny. The main characters are also pretty cool, right? Beatrix is very fun. It's a very fun person in the story. It's also nice to see foreigners in a manga once in a while that are not completely stupid or overly American. It's nice to see someone from Germany, for example, instead of always the US. You know what I mean? And of course, Shizuka is also a very great character in this plot. She's kind of a tsundere, but that's a good thing. In this case, it really fits the plot. And Akira, he makes this list, right, of 100 things. That's also why it's called Zom 100. He has 100 things that he wants to do during the zombie apocalypse. So before he dies, those 100 things need to be done, or he at least wants to do them. And because he couldn't do them while he was slaving away at this company, right? Because he hated it so much. So it's fun, really. It's a fun twist on the zombie apocalypse. It kind of differs eventually from the main story plot that we see in Volume 1, but that's fine. Basically, what holds this story together is this bucket list he has. Are these 100 things that he wants to do. And basically, every volume, he's able to cross off a couple of things that he did. And I like that. It's fun. It's a very fun way of creating a manga. So do I recommend this? Yes. Make sure to read Zom 100. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure to click on the like button, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. It helps me out tremendously. And frankly, if you did like it, and you might know someone that also liked it, how about sharing this video with someone? Because that also helps me out, and it helps the person out that you shared the video with. Now, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I was Razovy, and you were you. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.